So, hello everyone. Today, in the subject Zoology 2, that is basically the study of animal physiology, we are going to start the topic citric acid cycle, also known as TCA and Krebs cycle. In our last lecture, we already completed two cycles, that is pentose phosphate cycle, and second one is the glycolysis. These all two cycles which we already completed. Now this citric acid cycle and this TCA cycle. Both these cycles are very related to the glycolysis pathway because this citric acid cycle is basically related to the cycle which we already studied previously. Now we have to see how these cycles are related, what are the differences, and why we have to, or why the need of citrus cycle to be studied. Now let's begin with citrus cycle. So if firstly we see the introduction and overview of this cycle. So basically this cycle is the central metabolic hub of the cell, means there are many reactions, there are many metabolic activity, which is the composition of different catabolic and anabolic pathways. These can be governed by the cycle we call citric acid cycle. And also, it is a final common pathway for the oxidation of fuel molecule such as amino acids, fatty acids, and carbs. So basically, these are the fuel, which why we are calling them the fuel molecule, because they produce a very large amount of the energy in the form of ATP. So that's why, because this pathway is designed for generating this much amount of the fuel molecule in the terms of these fatty acids, amino acids, and carbohydrate. That's why this needed to be done in the place which is called the powerhouse. So that's why all the reactions which led to the composition of the fatty acids, amino acid, carbohydrate, these all have been done through the citric pathway in the mitochondria of the cell. They do not happen inside the cytosol like all the primitive cycles we studied. And we have been seeing that the glycolysis and the pentose phosphate sugar pathway, these are done inside the cytosol, but in the eukaryote cell. But this is also a variation here. In the eukaryote cell, if this pathway is going on, then only they will be happen inside the mitochondria of the cell. But if this pathway happens inside a prokaryote cell, at that time they will be happens inside the cytosol. Okay, so don't get confused. Just in a simple language, if this pathway happen inside the eukaryotic cell, then it will be done under the mitochondria. And if this pathway happens inside the prokaryotic cell, then it will be happen inside the cytosol. So let's see how this pathway come and modify it. So just look a little scary that there are so many intermediate stages and enzymes and outputs, and you can see the results, and like this is a very compactly arranged cycle. I'm not going to say that it will be easy, but I will help you to understand the following step. And also, if you revise them continuously by 2 or 3 times, then you will be find them too easy. Okay, now the cycle you can see, just this figure is just to explain that what kind of actions are present here basically. So, very first stage you can see here, this is a pyruvate. And I think you all know pyruvate, like I already studied and told you in the previous lecture. Pyruvate is a result of the glycolysis pathway. At that time, from the glucose 6 phosphate, there is a result pyruvate, two pyruvate that are formed. So basically, these pyruvate, they are having the three carbon situation. Okay, as you can see here, this this pyruvate, this is a 3 carbon number. You can see legends here. This red one, they are representing all the carbon atom which is present throughout the cycle. This carbon, yellow one is sulfur. They are the bond, different bond. Blue one is Na2PH. So basically, these things you have to be remembered, because what we have to see here, if we will talk about the yield of this particular pathway, then we have to know what amount of NADPH, and as we know that they are generating the fuel molecules. So at that time also, if they are generating the fuel molecules, we have to know like what an amount of the ATP is synthesizing here. So, from the first pathway, this I will just giving you a brief idea in this side, in this image. I will explain it all the reaction one by one in a stepwise formation, because otherwise you will be get confused like how this thing is converted into them and how the intermediates affecting their particular reaction working. So now this you can see here the pyruvate. This is a first reduction reaction. Wait a minute. So this is the first reaction here, and this after the development of this particular pyruvate from the glycolysis, it will be converted into the acetyl CoA. So if this pyruvate is converting into the acetyl CoA pathway, then they have to do this reduction formation. Okay, at this reduction time of period, there will be the 3 carbon which will be converted and one CO2 release at this very particular first phase here. So these are following series of the reactions will take place. First, we will see the little overview process of the citric acid cycle. So basically, the citric acid cycle, or you can say the Krebs cycle, they include a series of oxidation and reduction reaction. So as already you just seen this cycle, they are having several oxidation reaction and reduction reaction. So basically, when we are talking about the oxidation reaction, then they involve the catabolic pathway, and if we are talking about the anabolic reaction, then they are majorly at that situation we are talking about the anabolic pathways. युवराज तुम पढ़ोगे सिट्रिक साइकिल
क्या मैम?
एप साइकिल एक्चुअली मुझे रिकॉर्ड करना था बट ठीक है तुम पढ़ लो साइड बाय साइड ओके
ओके मैम.
So the citric cycle, this is a series of the oxidation and reduction reaction. And if we are talking about the oxidation reaction here, so oxidation have to be majorly formed with the catabolic activities. And if we're talking about the reduction reaction, then these all reaction for the anabolic pathways. So in mitochondria, these all two reaction take place in the form of oxidation and reduction. and that result in the oxidation of acetyl group to two molecule of carbon dioxide and reduce the coenzyme that are reoxidized through the electron transport chain. So basically, in the summarized version, what they wanted to say that if the oxidation of acetyl group has been take place in the mitochondria, then two molecule of carbon dioxide will be reduced, and the coenzyme, this is enzyme that is present covalently with the one another, that will be reoxidized. How? That thing reoxidized by the electron transport chain. So basically, this electron transport chain, why it is present here? This electron transport chain present here just for the formation of ATP. Okay, if you wanted to see how the ATP generate, then we have to knowledgeable how the electron transport chain process work out. So these all three activities that is basically happens into the mitochondria, and their key motive is there to the formation of the ATP. So this is the cycle, and this is a little elaborated version than the before one, because that one is little scary, having so many reaction. But still, you have to be very careful. High acetyl CoA to the formation of oxaloacetate. So you have to be, this cycle is related to each other by several reaction pattern. Like everything will be start from acetyl CoA, and that will be ended up by formation of oxaloacetate. Till now, whatever the things, whatever the cycles you studied, like the glycolysis pathway or the pentose phosphate pathway, they all have just you can say the pathway just led to the formation of one and two product, and or you can say their goal to produce just one or two products there. But in this cycle, there are several cyclical zone. You can see the first cycle that is basically covered these pattern, the half cycle. From by isocitrate, the malate will be formed. This is the one cycle you can say. Second cycle is isocitrate to the succinate formation. That is also a group of several reactions that perform the succinate, and also the whole process that converted acetyl also to oxaloacetate. So basically, all these series, all these chain of the series, they are having different purpose to perform here. So first here, you can see this acetyl CoA, that is basically we got this acetyl CoA by the pyruvate enzyme. So in this reaction you can see here the pyruvate dehydrogenase. Okay, so this is the first enzyme which work to the formation of the acetyl CoA. So at this time, when this pyruvate is a basically three carbon structure, because this is a result of the glycogenesis, and glycolysis basically produce two pyruvate formation. And this pyruvate, each one having the three carbon number. So this carbon number, like if we see that one single pyruvate have the three carbon number, now what they are reducing here, they are reducing one NAD to the NADH. So first NADH will be formed in a very first reaction when pyruvate is converting into the acetyl CoA. So at this time also, there one carbon dioxide will be released and one NADH particle will be released from there. So this all release particles, when now we are getting two things here, one NADH and second one is carbon dioxide. So after releasing one carbon situation, now here is acetyl CoA. This is a two carbon situation. Okay, so after this, we have to study from this. So this acetyl CoA, this is a two carbon situation. You can also see the bond. There is only two carbon which is present inside the acetyl CoA. Now acetyl CoA with the enzyme you can say with the help of the enzyme, citrate synthesis form the citrate. The citrate synthesis form the citrate, and after the citrate formation, you can also see there one hydrogen, one water group that will be added with acetyl CoA to form and to conversion into the citrate. So they basically, after happens citrate, there is or one more water molecule will be released in the next reaction when citrate has to be converted into the cis accotinate. So formation of this cis accotinate, there is an enzyme, a cotinate enzyme, which help, or you can say which basically degrade the citrate into the cis aconitate. So cis aconitate molecule, now these are the all the reversible reaction till the isocitrate formation. You can see that both the arrows are forming here, this arrow and that arrow. So these are the reversible arrows which basically inform us that this citrate molecule can be converted into the cis accotinate, and also the cis accotinate molecule can be converted into the citrate molecule. So basically all the reactions from this side just leave the succinyl CO2 or till the succinate formation. These three, if we remain here, all the reactions are the reversible. So these are not a rigid product here which are forming. You can make the product according to your need. So basically, this here coordinate will convert into the six coordinate. The all the reaction here, which is formation of the isocitrate. So basically this isocitrate we need for the formation of glycolysate and malate, which will be very needed for the formation of the fatty acids inside the body. So this cis oxalate, now again there will be in this situation a water molecule will be added. Okay, when we are going to form this isocitrate, then at this condition a water molecule have to be added for the formation. Now, this isocitrate, at this position, we have to be bifurcate in two direction. How we can bifurcate at this point? One direction can lead us to the formation of malate, and another direction we can move to the formation of succinate. So these two things which can be done through the formation of isocitrate and their following reaction. So if we see the first malate formation here, isocitrate with the enzyme isotyrase ligase that convert them to the glycosylate, and after having this glycosylate molecule and with the help of acetyl CoA, we can remove a CoA molecule here, and due to the help of malate synthetase, this enzyme help us, and also the we need the acetyl CoA should be present here, but we have to remove one from the acetyl CoA group. We have to remove one CoA, and that will be converted into the malate particle. So these malate, fumarate, succinate, these all are the basically these all are the come under the catabolic pathway. We are breaking a big molecule into a small one because these are the oxidative and reduction reaction. So these oxidation reduction, why this is happening here, just to make a new derivative for formation of some different cells. Now this isocitrate here, if this was a malate formation, or you can say this was still the malate formation take place. Now for the isocitrate to the fumarate position, if you see here, so isocitrate now will be form a NADP to the NADPH formation. Now there is second NADPH formation take place. First was taking place here. Now second NADPH formation happens when isocitrate reduced to alpha ketoglutarate. So this alpha ketoglutarate formation, that basically happens with the help of isocitrate dehydrogenase. When the term dehydrogenase is used, then we have to remove a hydrogen molecule. So same one hydrogen molecule basically removed here. So as the hydrogen molecule removed, thus NAD will be converted into the NADPH. Now this NADPH will be formed by the help of this isocitrate dehydrogenase, and what the product we are getting here, this is alpha ketoglutarate. Now this alpha ketoglutarate will be converted into the succinyl CoA. Again there will be a NADPH formation happens via the NAD formation. So this NAD, not there is no formation of NADP here. This is only NAD which help to form the NADH. That is different. That was NADPH and this is NADH. So there is a phosphate group which has been attached here, but in this case there will be no phosphate group which have to be present with the this forming reaction. So this what helped to reduce the ketoglutarate to the succinyl CoA is an enzyme. We can call them the alpha ketoglutarate dehydrogenase. So basically, this enzyme helped to form the succinyl CoA. Now these after having when we got the succinyl CoA, reaction can be the reversible. Okay, till this formation from the isocitrate to the succinyl CoA cycle cannot be reversible. There is just only one way direction of the series that can be take place in this falling matter. But after this succinyl to the succinate formation, and these enzyme will start their activity, and you can see the ATP formation can started to take place from ADP to ATP synthesis happen. So this process can be reversible. So now succinyl CoA with the help of succinyl CoA synthetase, this enzyme which basically help to the succinyl CoA to convert into the succinate, and this succinate is very important particle which we used in various reaction to perform. So now at duration of this reaction, we are getting another ATP formation. Uh, Honestly, this is the first direct ATP formation which has happened during this whole cycle. So till now, you didn't see any ATP formation. Okay, there is only carbon dioxide release, hydrogen removal, hydrogen adding, NADPH formation, NADH formation. So this is the very first time that we are getting a directly a ATP molecule from the cycle. Otherwise, this cycle do not design to produce ATP molecule during the cycle, but they made some product or they made other fuel molecule which basically work to synthesize the energy or synthesize the ATP. But they directly do not produce a large molecule or a large number of the ATP inside them. Now you can see here the succinate will be formed, and after this succinate what we get, there will be and this is the first molecule of FADH2 will be produced from FAD. So why this form? Because after that reaction we will be having the fumarate that was derived by the succinate. When the enzyme succinate dehydrogenase work on succinate, so it reduces the molecule of succinate here. So you can see there is a one group of CH. You can see there are the two group of the CH molecule has been added here, but now one hydrogen of this place can go to there. So now if we have removed one hydrogen here, so there was a situation of H2H2. Now this whole process has been break. So that's why this succinate dehydrogenase basically remove as the dehydrogenation process happen. What happen at the dehydrogenation? One hydrogen molecule have to be removed. So that's why in this process, one hydrogen molecule has been removed, and from the FAD to the FADH2. So this whole reaction convert the succinate to the fumarate. Now we are having this, we can say this compound fumarate. Now, with the enzyme help fumarase, which basically have to reduce the formation of fumarate, that will be converted into the malate. And for this reaction, for you can say the fumarate have to convert into the malate by the enzyme fumarase, they need a water molecule to be added up. So here, one water molecule will be added to the fumarase, and fumarate will be converted into the malate. So now this malate have to be converted into the oxaloacetate, because without the help of oxaloacetate, acetyl CoA cannot initiate the cycle. If we wanted acetyl CoA to initiate the cycle, they will need the help of the oxaloacetate. So this malate, now what they do, this is the second time NAD to NADH formation will take place. NAD will converted into the NADH. Again, a dehydrogenation reaction happen. So the malate will be by getting help by the malate dehydrogenase enzyme, as again there will be a removal of hydrogen will happen here. So NAD will be converted into the NADH. So this one hydrogen removed and this form will NADH. So this is the second one. One is here this place when one a ketoglutarate converted into the succinyl CoA, one NADH formed at this place and second NADH will be formed at formation of the oxaloacetate. So in this case, you will see that after this oxaloacetate, a final thing happen, and oxaloacetate basically is a product, or you can say this is the final product that we get in this whole cycle. But actually, this oxaloacetate cannot do anything alone. So they need some favors from the acetyl CoA to work in a different cycles or in different parameters. So otherwise, this acetyl CoA cannot work alone, and none the oxaloacetate. So basically, these two work in a combined version. So this is the all the citric cycle explained, and you can also see that the citric cycle, what are the basic core, like what are the products we are getting here. So there are, you can say, one first NADPH, one NADPH molecule, two NADH molecule direct, whatever we are getting directly here, and two NADH molecules here, one ATP formation, one FADH2 molecule. So these are the total yield of this particular cycle, that we are getting two NADH and one NADPH and one ATP and one FADH2. So these are the whole cycle. Basically, this is not a cycle to perform the single function. We will see that what are the numerous function that can be performed by this single cycle. Now you can see energetics like oxidation of 3 NADH by ATC coupled with oxidative phosphorylation result in synthesis of 7.5 ATP, that is after the phosphorylation process. FADH2 leads to the formation of 2 ATP. Now what we are getting here, one FADPH2. So this FADH2 will be the do the formation of 2 ATP, like 1 into 1.5. So easily that will be converted into the 2 ATPs. One substrate level phosphorylation, that is called GTP. So this is also happen after the this citric acid cycle. Thus, a total 10 ATP are produced from one acetyl CoA. So this final formation, when we talk about all the thing which has been produced here, when they are going to the electron transport chain, or when they are producing the ATP in a particular manner, there will be total 10 ATPs which will be formed by this citric cycle, or you can say only one acetyl CoA. So in a summarized version, you can say that one acetyl CoA can form the 10 ATPs inside. Now we see the regulation, like what are the regulatory enzymes. So there are several enzymes which perform the function in the TCA cycle, as we already say. Like you can see this start from this. These all are the enzymes: citrate synthetase, acutinate, isosaturate dehydrogenase, alpha ketoglutarate dehydrogenase, succinyl CoA synthetase, succinyl dehydrogenase, fumarase, malate dehydrogenase. Basically, these all are the enzymes, malate synthetase and isosaturate lysase also. But what are to be called the regulatory one? Means regulatory, or you can say that regulatory enzyme are those enzymes which take, or which basically responsible for the major change in a cycle. If they will be not present there, then there be maybe not a very, you can say, very noticeable change cannot be done inside a DCA cycle. So these these three regulatory enzymes basically are citrate synthase, which form the citrate, isocitrate dehydrogenase, which basically required to form the citrate inside them, and last one, ketoglutarate dehydrogenase, which form the succinyl CoA. So these three things, which are very fundamental kind of enzyme, which are needed to the DC cycle. Because anytime if someone asks you what are those three enzymes, if they are not present in a DC cycle, then the problem can be take place. So you easily name these three regulatory enzymes without which citrate cycle cannot happen. Now we will see the significance of the TCA cycle. What is the use? Why we studied this TCA cycle? So the citric cycle acid is not only a pathway for oxidation of two carbon unit, but is also play a major pathway for interconversion of metabolites arising from transmission and deamination of amino acids. See what the first line telling us here, that citric acid cycle is not only a pathway for oxidation. Means we just cannot do the oxidation of the carbon units here. Like in a starting phase, when the acetyl CoA, that is a two carbon state. Okay, pyruvate was a three carbon state, but they remove a one carbon dioxide in a very first reaction. That one we get is just a two carbon unit. So this is not all about the oxidation of that two carbon unit. This is a major pathway for major interventions or interconvention for metabolites, so they can be used to making some other fundamental or metabolic activity inside the cell. So what are the activity basically? So these are for the demianation of the amino acid, providing the substance for amino acid synthesis for transmission, as well as for the gluconeogenesis and fatty acid synthesis. So all the fatty acid synthesis, gluconeogenesis, amino acid synthesis, or by transmission, these all the fundamental processes which have to be done inside the cell for our normal body cycle. So these TCA cycle basically give us all the metabolite, all the intermediate phase to perform all these actions. So because it's function in both oxidative and synthetic process, it is amphibolic. There is this is also a significance of TCA cycle. Like we can call them the amphibolic substance. So whenever we talk about the amphi, like in any subjects where we amphibians, amphitelic. So basically, when we are talking about two character in one substance, okay, maybe that is case of any other thing, but if in this process, when we are calling them, then we are calling this cycle is amphibolic, means they are having two properties in single cycle. Most of the cycles they may be just one either on the reduction division or oxidation loss. They very rarely they obtain both the two reaction in a one cycle. But this cycle, they are also having the oxidation thing and they are also having the reduction division. That's why we call them the amphibolic cycle, because of having both the character in one cycle. Next, catabolic role of TCA cycle. How, as we already told you, that they do both the function catabolic and anabolic. So now we'll see how they will work in the catabolic manner. Means catabolic activity of TCA cycle. So the citric acid cycle is final common pathway for oxidation of carbohydrate, lipid, protein, because glucose, fatty acid, and most amino acid are metabolized to acetyl CoA or transmitted to the cycle. Now, first thing is that the catabolic property is when we break something big into the small pieces. So now when we wanted to get the energy from these substances, so we have to do that. We have to do the catabolic role. So this citric acid cycle, you can say this is a common pathway. This do not work for a single unit inside the cell or body. Basically, this is a common pathway for most of the oxidation pattern of even of the carbohydrate, lipid, protein. These all get the you can say these all get the fuel molecules by having this. What are their core main product? The common product, that is acetyl CoA. That is the intermediate point of the all the cycle which help in lipid, protein, and glucose to do their function. So that's why this is a major catabolic role of the DC cycle. Next, the function of citric acid cycle. The function of the citric acid cycle in the harvesting of high energy electron and carbon fuels. Also, they produced many molecules which basically help in the electron transport chain, and that electron transport chain will making the ATP. So that's why they are majoring role to play the energy electrons. One acetate unit generate approximately 12 molecule of ATP per turn of the cycle. In this, whenever a acetate unit generate, so that one acetate, you if you remember the cycle here, the CoA synthetase, okay, cycle, everything either citrate, that is the acetate. This is the acetate molecule which basically, reliable with these molecules. So every hexapenate is isocitrate, ketoglutarate, or this fumarate, malate, oxaloacetate, acetyl CoA, these all having one acetate in them. So one acetate unit is giving the 12 molecule of ATP per turn. So you can see it how much, or how broad spectra of the ATP can be generated in this cycle. Now the anabolic role of the DC cycle. This was we talking about the catabolic role. Now we will see the how the anabolically this DC cycle help us. So as a major metabolic hub of the cell, the citric cycle also provide intermediate for biosynthesis of various compounds. Like biosynthesis, what happened in an anabolic role, we have to make a big molecule by joining the small ones. So this is called the biosynthesis process. Here we are synthesizing something. We are not breaking anything. We are making something. So anabolic pathway is all about making something. Catabolic pathway is all about breaking something. So in the role of anabolic role of the DC cycle, role in gluconeogenesis. This is the main branch where the DC cycle help anabolically. So all the intermediate of the cycle are potentially glucogenic since they can give rise to oxaloacetate. Hence, net production of glucose in the liver or kidney, the organ that carry out gluconeogenesis. So basically, what is gluconeogenesis, or what happens inside the gluconeogenesis? In the gluconeogenesis, they make the glycogen. Okay, that glycogen is a stored version of glucose. In the liver, in the kidney, or any other places in the body, we can store the glycogen we can store the glucose in the form of the glycogen. And forming that glycogen is a biosynthetic process. And if we wanted to convert the glucose into the glycogen and wanted to reserve it, we can do it through the TCA cycle. Because when a oxaloacetate convert, okay, that oxaloacetate, that was the final product of the cycle. You can see here this oxaloacetate, this basically work in the gluconeogenesis. Okay, that cycle is governed by the oxaloacetate. So the gluconeogenesis, if take help of the oxaloacetate, that in that form we are anabolically help to the storage of the glucose in terms of the glycogen. These are some key reaction, or you can say the role in gluconeogenesis, how oxaloacetate work. So this is oxaloacetate, and by removing one carbon dioxide and from GDP to GDP formation, this is formed as a phosphophenol pyruvate. So this phosphophenol pyruvate is a major enzyme which help in the gluconeogenesis. So in this way, you can help, or the TCA cycle help to work or anabolically to the gluconeogenesis. So this reaction happens, And product of this reaction, phosphoenol pyruvate, that basically a starting point of the glyconeogenesis cycle. Next, in the role of synthesis in amino acids, so aspartic acid is a precursor of asparagine lysine. So we knew that aspartic acid, which is formed in the TCA cycle, that basically precursor of asparagate, lysine, methionine, tyrosine, isoleucine. So these are all the amino acids. So except this asparagine, these all are like these lysine, methicin, tyrosine, isoleucine. So these are the very essential kind of amino acid which are needed inside the body. So all these are basically synthesized only in plant. Our human body cannot synthesize these amino acid. Only the plant body or plant cell have the potential to create these kind of amino acid. But this whole situation will also need the help of oxaloacetate. Without oxaloacetate, we cannot produce the amino acid formation. In the fatty acid synthesis, so in this case, acetyl-CoA help. Okay, till now, oxaloacetate helping to the form of amino acids and gluconeogenesis. But in this case, what happened? Acetyl-CoA formed from pyruvate by the action of pyruvate dehydrogenase is a major substrate for the long chain fatty acid synthesis. So this acetyl CoA, which we already get by the pyruvate dehydrogenase activity. So this acetyl CoA is a major composition of the fatty acid synthesis. So in this way, our whole TCA cycle is responsible for the many functions inside our body. It can be the nucleic acid formation, fatty acid formation, amino acid formation, gluconeogenesis, ATP formation, NADH formation. So these are the several roles which have to be performed by the TCA cycle. I think this is the last role in the purine and pyrimidine synthesis. As already told you, they are also helpful in the formation of nucleic acids. So the glutamate and aspartate, okay, these are also derived from the TCA cycle, glutamate and aspartate. You can see here. Glutamate is here by alpha ketoglutarate. Okay, we can get this glutamate by the alpha ketoglutarate, and this aspartate we can get it by the oxaloacetate. So these two products we also get from the this TCA cycle, and they are utilized for the formation of purines and pyrimides. So these whole purpose of this cycle is a very diverse. Not they are not working for only one single purpose inside the cell. They are the huge purpose for this TCA cycle, or you can say that's why we call them. This is the amphibolus pathway, that they are not just going in a one direction to perform or obtain something. This playing a major role in way more directions to produce many things inside our body. So now these are some questions which you can answer by the Krebs cycle, like product of Krebs cycle, which is essential for oxidative phosphorylation is like what is the product? You already, I think now you can easily identify them. A single molecule for glucose generate molecule of acetyl CoA, which enters the Krebs cycle. We know that how many acetyl CoA can form, and which accept hydrogen from malate. We already know that only one atom can be formed here. And which of the intermediate of the Krebs cycle is utilized in the formation of amino acids. So this is also you have to know, like which intermediate of Krebs cycle is utilized to form the amino acid. I just told you that. Krebs cycles occur in anaerobic reaction due to, this is also important as they are performing several other functions, how it is helpful in the anaerobic respiration. Acetyl CoA is formed from pyruvate by which reaction? Dehydration, reduction, oxidative decarboxylation, yet dephosphorylation. Which of the following is not formed during a Krebs cycle? Also, you have to know that the entry of the pyruvate into TC cycle is inhibited the presence of high cellular concentration of which higher cellular concentration? Mostly the answer is, I think you have to know the IMP's answer here. And ATP synthesis is powered by, so what are the things which basically powered the ATP synthesis? And lastly, the FAD is reduced in which of the reaction of the Krebs cycle? So only one FAD has formed here. Sorry, one FAD is reduced here. So in which reaction the FAD reduced in the Krebs cycle? So these type of the question can be asked from you when you have to study the Krebs cycle. You have to know these kind of answers. And these are some references also. If you didn't get it very clearly, also go through these references, and they have a very elaborated version of all the Krebs cycle and other cellular cycle which take part inside the plant body or animal body. So I think it's all done for today. Is there any confusion, Rush? You wanted to ask something?
No, ma'am.